guys, I just got back a little while ago from a bike ride with my son, and I got on Facebook and a friend of mine had posted a video where Chef AJ interviewed Dr. Lisle. And some of you know who Dr. Lisle is. He works at the True North Clinic and he works with Dr. McDougall, and he's just a brilliant psychologist who knows a lot about the human behavior, particularly pertaining to weight loss. And so Chef AJ interviewed him, and today on my video I just want to quickly recap some of the points that he talked about because they were awesome, and I personally am even going to try out some of the things that Dr. Lisle had said in this video. So let's start. I have to have my notes, so I'm going to start with number one. The first thing that Dr. Lisle said is, when you're hungry, you need to eat something healthy. And so he said it's very easy to eat things that are unhealthy when they're in your presence. So when you think that you're hungry, the first thing you should do is reach for something that's to the left of the red line on the continuum of calorie-dense foods. So meaning fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and beans are all going to be under 600 calories per pound. And those are the foods that you should reach for first when you're hungry, and see if those sort of satiate you or make you feel better before you move on to something else. So that's number one. When you're hungry, eat something healthy. Number two, he said, don't have unhealthy foods in your home. Well, that seems like it would just be obvious, but a lot of times you hear people say, oh, I have this food, it's for my kids, or, oh, I have this food because we're having people over this weekend. But the reality is when you have those foods in your house, you're going to eat them. A lot of times we go to Costco and we love dark chocolate, and so we'll see something that's a vegan dark chocolate and we'll get that. Well, when I have that in my home, I am tempted to eat it. So when I don't have those foods in my home, I'm more apt to eat a fruit or have some rice or have something else that's healthier. And so it's best to keep those unhealthy, high calorie dense processed foods out of your house. Okay, number three. He said it's true, you can exercise more than the calories you're taking in and lose weight, but he says that's a miserable way to lose weight because it's not doable in the long term, and it's not doable for most people. I would agree with that. I have been exercising consistently, 3 to 5 times a week. I'm talking about like running, walking, cycling, for probably almost 5 months now, and that's not what helps to lose weight. What helps to lose weight is to have a healthy diet. That's probably 80% of your success rate is going to come from what goes in your mouth. It's not the exercise that you do. Now, is that to say that exercise is not good for you? Absolutely not. Exercise is very important. It's super important. And one thing that Dr. Lisle said about exercise is he said exercise is really more important for your self-esteem than it is for losing weight. And I think what he means by that is that it just makes you feel better about you, that you did something more than just sit on the couch every day. You did something more than just stand around or sit at work, that you actually did something of value for your body. Okay, so number 4. He says, if you have 40 pounds to lose, for example, you cannot expect to lose that 40 pounds in 6 weeks. A lot of people think that if something hasn't happened dramatically in 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, that they're ready to be done with it. And he said to lose 40 pounds, you need a minimum of 6 to 8 months to do this. And so you need to think about how much weight that you have to lose, and you need to be patient in the process of losing that weight. At this point, Chef AJ interjected that it took her 27 months to lose 50 pounds. So you need to be patient. It's going to take time to lose weight. Another point that Dr. Lisle made is that you should only weigh yourself once a month. And there are varying views on this. I've had a lot of people tell me that you should weigh yourself every day. But what he said really made sense to me. He said, when you get on the scale and you weigh yourself, you're weighing so many different things. Let's see what he said. He said, you're weighing the glycogen in your muscles and in your liver. You're weighing the fecal matter that's in your colon. You're weighing the water content. He said, so don't be a scale monkey, meaning don't get on multiple times a day or every day or several times a week. He said the best way to know if you're losing weight is to weigh yourself once a month. That way, those changes that have occurred on a day-to-day basis aren't going to quote unquote weigh in on those once a month weigh-ins. You're gonna see a change. And he said, if you're not seeing the scale move in a month, you need to look at what you're eating. Because he said, generally, if you are eating foods that are to the right of the red line, or the calorie dense foods, anything that is not fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, if you're eating more of the nut seeds, avocado, chocolate, nut butters, things like that, those definitely can cause weight gain or weight plateaus. So try to not weigh yourself as often if that's something that you're used to doing. And I'm going to try doing that actually, because I do weigh myself a lot more often than once a month, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to weigh myself tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to weigh myself in a month, and let's see what happens, because I'm going to put into practice some of the things that Dr. Lisle said, and we'll see what happens with that. Now, that said, I'm going to continue doing my 16/8 fasting because I'm loving it. It's doing great for my diabetes. It's doing fabulous for helping me to work out. So I'm not going to change that. And honestly, I'm not feeling hungry in the morning until about 10:30-ish. So the only thing I might change is when I do actually feel hungry, if it's 10:30 versus 11. Today I didn't eat till 12:30 because it just happened to be my food wasn't ready until then. But if I actually do feel hungry, I'm going to go ahead and eat. So probably the biggest and most impressive thing that Dr. Lisle said, which is sort of, something that we all already know, but it was good to hear it again, is that he says environment is the most important thing. Meaning, when you don't have foods that are calorie dense or processed in your physical presence, you're not going to be able to eat them. So going to restaurants where you know that you have the opportunity to order something that has oil or is highly processed, or again is just being cooked by somebody else, there's a chance that you're going to not be as successful because you're not eating the whole plant foods that help us to lose weight. The same thing goes for bringing things into your home that that can deter you from losing weight. And I like something that Chef AJ always says. She says, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. So if you don't have things in your house that you don't want to be in your body, you're not going to be unsuccessful. I hope these tips get you thinking, and that maybe you'll put some of them into practice. I'm going to start making some changes based on what he talked about today and see what happens. Anyway, I'll be back with an update.